thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading. Today, I'm really excited because we're going to be doing the January 2024 predictions. We have 4 different piles here for you to choose from, and we've got a lot that we're going to be covering today. And I feel like it's kind of hard to stand out with a monthly predictions reading, so I'm trying to spice things up here, specifically with the tarot portion, but let's go over the breakdown. So we're going to be covering your main energy slash focus for the month, something you're manifesting, a big challenge for you this month, and help from the universe that is coming in this month. And then in your tarot portion, we're going to be looking at those of you who are single and in relationship. We're going to be looking at your love life, and then we're going to be looking at career and finances, and then what I'm really excited about, we're going to be having a specific question for a yes or no portion of the reading. So I want you to think of something right now that you want maybe clarity on, or maybe you want a yes or no. So have that in mind for later on in your reading. And then we're going to go into some closing advice, and yeah, that's pretty much all we have for your reading here today, guys. But, of course, we don't have our signifiers out yet, so the tarot deck that we're going to be using today is the Cosmovisions Oracle. Now, this is an Oracle slash tarot deck, and I really wanted to use it because I just thought it was really pretty, so that's what we're going to be using. I'm going to pull one card for each pile, so you guys can, if you're a visual person, you have something to kind of draw you in towards, I hope you're doing well today, and all of the decks that I am using today will be linked in the description, and I will have timestamps listed down below for you. So, Spirit, pile 1, give me a card for pile 1. Woo! Okay, we have the Ace of Lotuses, and this is the Ace of Cups, and I also want to see what kind of, oh, and we have soulmates, so interesting. Okay, how about pile 2, Spirit? Give me a tarot card for pile 2. We have the Pelican, I just think this deck is so interesting. The art is very beautiful to me. Okay, pile 3, Spirit. Give me a card for pile 3. We have the Cosmic Tree. And pile 4, please, Spirit. Give me a card for pile 4. Ooh. We have the Protector. Alright, so those are your cards. Feel free to take a little bit of time, maybe meditate, see which one you're drawn to. But yeah, those timestamps are in the description, and I will see you there. Bye! Hello, pile 1. Thanks so much for being here with me. If you chose the Ace of Lotuses or the Ace of Cups slash the Soulmate card, then that's how you know you made it to the right pile. You are at pile 1. Let's go ahead and spread out your tarot cards. This card is actually a part of your closing advice, so I'm going to save that till the very end. Your overall energy, we have Fill Your Cup. This is number 26. For, I forgot what this is, something you're manifesting, we have Retreat with 18, card 18. For a challenge this month, we have Ginger manifesting personal power and retribution. Goodness. Having trouble talking. And then this is help from the universe this month. We have the Grand Cross. Grand Cross. Okay. Make sure you guys can see that. Pile 1. Your spirit guides are coming through loud and clear. January for you is all about rest and recharging your energy. And I want you to stick with me here, Pile 1, because I can already tell a lot of you may be tempted to click off. And I mean, I can't tell you what to do, and I would never, of course, tell you what to do. But I think a lot of you who were quick to assume that this wasn't your pile might actually be the exact people that this pile is for. And I will always encourage you to take guidance from more than one reading if you do feel like there's more to this month than just this pile. But let me explain these energies and then you're free. I swear. I swear. Or wait, no, I don't know why I did that. You're free. Pile 1. I want to start with how you're being helped by the universe this month. And first we've got Grand Cross. And any of my astrology nerds will tell you this might seem kind of contradictory, that this card kind of comes out in a place that represents help, because Grand Cross is comprised of 4 interlocking squares and 2 opposing aspects. We've got 4 squares and 2 opposing aspects. Think of squares as tea kettles in someone's birth chart. And when activated, just like kind of turning on a burner, the tea kettle whistles and the steam rises and the water boils. That's the pressure rising from inside of an individual. The oppositions are kind of like an external person, place, or thing is the actual thing turning on that burner. Essentially, the one adding fuel to the fire. And the lesson with the Grand Cross is to not only manage that steam that is rising, but how to overcome and master wherever that aspect is showing up in your chart. In this case, this would represent where you're feeling some sort of block, challenge, or force outside of your control in your life. I think Spirit is trying to bring to your attention an area of life that is stifling you. Or Spirit is kind of putting you in a hermit mode this month so you can finally have clarity about what is blocking you from leveling up in life. The reason Spirit is helping you this way this month is because I think you guys have really set the intention this year to change your life. But I think your goals are still relatively low to what Spirit knows you can actually accomplish in this life. And I think this is a group who once were very strong in who they were and where they wanted to go. But I think life kind of came in and really did a number on you, to say the least. Or at least your confidence was kind of stifled or crushed by how cruel the world can be at some times. This month, some of you may be sent a tower moment by Spirit, or you'll be put in a situation that feels pretty unpleasant while you're going through it. And that's not because Spirit is punishing you, or because the universe wants you to hate your life. It's because you need to be reminded of what you truly want in this life. Even though it seems crazy, sometimes Spirit will send us difficult situations for us to kind of reflect and realize what we actually care about in the first place. Because, like, let's say this is a job that you hate or a boss that is horrible. Maybe this month your boss is being incredibly picky with your work and piling more and more on top of you. And it gets to this point where you're doing all of this work and it kind of makes you realize that you don't actually like the career you're in or like your job. Another example, it's giving me this feeling of someone who went to college for like biology, right? And then they finally get a job in a lab that they've always wanted, or like a scenario that they thought they always wanted. But then once it comes to actually working in a lab or working in that chosen field, they realize they don't actually really like what they're doing. And maybe they went into that career for money and now they're having like an identity crisis because they don't want to do biology for the rest of their life. And I think Spirit is trying to get your life on a track that aligns with your dreams, but they first need you to realize what your soul actually desires deep down. Your main challenge here with Ginger, I think this does represent a hit to your confidence, where you're feeling disempowered this month. And I think it's because you're feeling lost or just beat down by circumstances this month. But I think there's a need to ground, especially because when you think of it, like ginger is a root. I think the energies you're dealing with this month will kind of feel chaotic, and having a solid routine that you can rely on and depend on will make things more manageable, even if it's small. Look to what you can control this month. You can control how you treat yourself this month. When we're lacking in confidence, self-care is a really great way to try and build that back up. That includes maintaining good hygiene, talking to yourself with kind words, treating yourself once in a while, and even now and then, like a little bit of exercise that fuels your brain with good chemicals. Also, eating a balanced diet. There just might not be a ton of external validation this month, and it's a time to self-empower and see what you can do to make yourself happy and what you can do for yourself. Your main energy this month is quite literally fill your cup, which I think goes well with what we've kind of been talking about. Even if you're resistant to this energy, it's important you focus on you and your needs. Now is not a time to go above and beyond for anyone else if your cup isn't filled. Boundaries are another important thing this month, especially with anything or any person that you feel drained around. That's the first sign that you need to take some distance and assess what's going on. As far as what you're manifesting this month with retreat, I'm going to go ahead and read from the guidebook because I feel I might be getting redundant, and hopefully you can just kind of take what you want and leave the rest. You should also see, I'll like throw the page on your screen right now so you can screenshot that if you'd like. Okay. This says, pull back. It's time to withdraw your forces. Retreating is the key right now, whether to a physical place of quiet and reconstitution or an energetic space of introspection. If it feels like you've been pushing a boulder uphill, no amount of force or effort or creativity will work right now. Honor the sacred pause. A time for action will return again, but for now, the most productive thing you can do is retreat. Imagine you're a turtle withdrawing into your shell. The hard shell of protection can surround you while you wait for the right action to arise by itself. You don't have to do anything but breathe. Okay, thank you for getting through that with me. Let's go ahead and get into the tarot portion of today's reading. And I feel like a lot of people might have clicked off a while ago, but thank you guys for sticking around. Those of you who did. Okay. So, definitely a month about you, and a month of setting boundaries, honoring your boundaries, and not overstepping yourself, not overgiving. Really prioritizing yourself and assessing how you're feeling before you go and do something. But, okay, so, Spirit, pile 1, for those in a relationship, what can they expect this month? In love, okay. We have, I should have said this in the beginning. I'm only taking uprights because this deck is, some of the cards are like original to the deck and they only have upright like meanings and definitions, so just in case, I'm just gonna do uprights today with this tarot deck. We have the 3 of Embers. I do get this sort of disconnected energy from this card. Let me show you guys. I mean, do you see how she's kind of like, she's distracted? It's almost like you have this head up in the clouds energy this month, or you're just feeling really disconnected from the connections that surround you. But I do think it's significant that they are still holding on. It's like these people are still keeping you grounded. It's not like they're letting you go this month. It's not like you're even letting them go. But I do think you are focused on other priorities this month. I do think this is a month where maybe you and your partner might not be seeing eye to eye on everything, or like this doesn't need to mean that you guys are fighting, but I just think you are definitely going to have this spiritual pull to focus on other things that light you up. And that doesn't mean that you're not in a season of, growing and being with this person, but it's just like you need to focus on other things other than this person. Let's see. I want to get more information. Those in relationship this month, Spirit. Those in a relationship, what can they expect this month? What can they expect this month in love, Spirit? We have the Seven of Swords. I think this does kind of show the isolated energy that you're in even more. Maybe it's more of a protective energy. Maybe you guys are assessing whether this person is someone you want in your life this month. This doesn't have to be for all of you, of course, but I do feel like there is definitely a protective energy here with the Seven of Swords. Maybe you guys are kind of like keeping your intentions low around this person, and I hope you guys don't have bad intentions. I doubt you guys have bad intentions. If you're here on this video, I doubt I would attract people with bad intentions. Can I get a clarifier, Spirit, for the Seven of Birds? Can you clarify? Okay. Got the Nine of Trees and the Ten of Swords. Wow. Okay. Let me think about this now. Oops, you can't see. So, some of you guys in a relationship are embracing this independent attitude and having to kind of retreat more inside because maybe you're finding out something about this person, or there's definitely pain here, and that's why you kind of have your guard up this month with this person. I feel like maybe you're finding out some news about their intentions, or maybe you're seeing where this person is holding you back. And this is, of course, for only those of you, and I'm only saying this if you absolutely know there's someone else in the picture, because if you don't know there's someone else in the picture, then don't take this message. But if you absolutely know that you've caught your partner with another person or cheating on you, I do think that's maybe being shown here with the Three of Wands. There is another person here, and it's like he wants to hold on to you, they want to hold on to you, but you're kind of like, I deserve better. Interesting. If you aren't resonating with this energy at all and you're in a relationship, you might want to check out, of course, a different pile. Like I said earlier, you can be drawn to multiple piles in a different month. But yeah, I do think you are accepting this independent energy into your life due to some sort of betrayal or pain that you're experiencing with this person, or you're recovering from with this person. And I do think this month you are going to have your guard up around this person, and you're focused on other priorities, other passions. I think you're filling your cup by focusing on other passions this month. Okay. As far as my singles, Spirit, let's do a little Spirit guides. Those who are single for pile 1, what can they expect this month in love? Okay. So, we have the Ace of Birds, which is the Ace of Swords, and we have the Protector. So this is one of those that I'm not sure what it is, so I'm going to look in the guidebook and see. Some of you guys who are single this month, if there is a fire sign, which is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, in your life that you've been wanting to connect with, or someone that you've had your eye on, I do think you are going to be having some sort of communication with them, or some sort of heart-to-heart. Maybe you guys are going on like a first date, maybe you guys are reconnecting. I want to learn more about this, because so this card, the Protector, represents the King of Wands, but My other interpretation for the King of Wands, especially when I do love readings, is someone who's still a little emotionally immature in love. They are quite spontaneous. They are they're very charming and very funny. They might be quick-witted. They might be someone who makes you feel very comfortable around very easily, but they're not always the most reliable because they haven't quite built that maturity yet. But they are great for if you want like a friends with benefits situation. I don't know. This is for a lot of different people, but let's see. What else, Spirit, can you tell us about singles for their love life? Okay. So we have life map. I want to grab one more, Spirit. What can we tell for pile one's love life? And the crow. Well, the crow represents the magician and life map represents the wheel of fortune. So what this is telling me is this is definitely an experience or like a reconnection or someone that you have manifested. And I do feel like there is a sense of divine timing at play. Maybe you feel like you've had to wait a long time for this person, or maybe you feel like things haven't always been easy with this person. And I think Spirit is definitely highlighting here, like, you have free will whether you want to accept this person back in your life or not, or whether you want to deal with their energy or not, because of course we've already touched on them being still a little bit emotionally immature, but I do think they've either manifested you or you've manifested them, and now is the perfect timing for you two to come together if you do want to give this a go again. And I did just recently do a Their Thoughts and Feelings About You reading. If you want to check that out. If none of those resonate with you, you can of course check out the amazing, glorious YouTube channels here on YouTube. The amazing tarot channels that do amazing readings all the time. Okay, let's go ahead and move along to your career and finances. I'm going to do another shuffle. Either way, I do think, actually I do just want to touch one more. Despite like manifesting this person or like whatever you choose to do with this situation, my singles, I do want to remind you that it is a time to still focus on you and to not let anyone have power or control over you, and to remind yourself of past lessons that you've already gone through and why you went through them and what you learned and what you want to do moving forward to be different. Okay, so for pile one's career and finances, what can you tell us for pile one's career and finances? Take one more for now, Spirit. Okay. We have the Pelican and Dream World. So I actually feel like for career and finances, you guys are going to be feeling really good this month, or really taken care of. Some of you might actually feel like you're living in a dream world. Some of you are getting to go on a really fun vacation or like a work trip, some sort of opportunity that is making you feel pampered or taken care of. It's like something this month you're going to be experiencing at work or work related. It's going to make you feel like that boss, because the Pelican also represents the Emperor. So I do feel like you're realizing like you are the master of your fate, or like you manifested everything you wanted up to this point, and now you're realizing like, oh, if I've manifested this dream world, maybe I can manifest even more. And you're like, what can I do? But I do think you're kind of sitting on this like this little post or this wooden thingy on the coast, and you're looking out at the sea and all of the fish and all of the opportunities. And I think you're just proud of yourself this month for how far you've come. Maybe you've struggled a lot to get to the point that you are this month. Some of you guys are honestly manifesting like a dream career. Maybe you guys just finished college and you're applying for jobs and you're gonna get that like 100K salary position offered to you right out the gate because like you've earned this, like you've worked your booty off to say, and it is now time for you to reap the rewards of all of your hard work, and you're going to be realizing what it means to put in the hard work and reap what you sow. I think you've had to do a lot of work in the dark or a lot of work without reward, and it's now your turn. And I'm really excited delivering that message. I feel all giddy and I feel excited. You're gonna have to tell me what happens or like what's on the agenda this month. Finances, I do feel like you're gonna be able to splurge a lot more. Like you're gonna be feeling like the emperor. You're gonna feel like you're able to take care of yourself, but also everyone else, your family. You're gonna feel like a provider. You are going to feel like a boss. Maybe you guys are an entrepreneur and your business is finally taking off. Like, these are the sorts of things that are going to be happening this month, and I'm really excited to hear more or hear back about what happens. So, as far as the specific question or the specific answer to your question, yes or no, and we'll try and get as specific as we can, but of course everyone's going to be asking about something different, so we have to accommodate that. But go ahead and think of your question now. Send me those vibes, send the questions to the universe, to spirit. Okay, Spirit, what is the answer to pile 1's question? What is the answer to pile... Okay, I'm going to just take all of those. So we have the 10 of Embers, which is the 10 of Wands. We have the 8 of Embers, which is the 8 of Wands. And we have the Phoenix. Okay, so I feel like whatever you asked about is like... Okay. I think what Spirit is saying here, if you're asking about why you had to go through something, like maybe you guys are asking about this love situation and the pain that you're experiencing right now, or if you can trust someone. If you're asking about like trusting a specific person, I do think that it's a no. Or if you're asking about letting someone new into your life, I do think like it's probably not the best for you. And why do I think that? I think it's because the 10 of Wands is all about burdens and feeling worn down, feeling burnt out. And honestly, the imagery here is like the world is literally burning around you, but then you're also rising as the Phoenix, which also gives me this hope of like, maybe it's a maybe, and that depends on what you're asking about. So for some of you, if you're asking about like a career opportunity or like a move that you should make, I feel like Spirit is saying right now is not the time. Wait and wait in the shadows and continue working on yourself, because eventually you're going to be able to rise like the Phoenix. It is going to be your time very soon, but right now is not the time to take that crazy risk or to tell your boss off. Like, still remain respectful and true to yourself. I also feel like if you said yes to this situation, you would just feel so low energy all of the time, and it's like the second you get away from them, you feel so much better. Whatever this thing is, I do feel like you will get clarity soon, because we have the 8 of Embers, which is the 8 of Wands, which is all about quick, fast pace. And I'm also just hearing learning, so maybe this is like a no, and Spirit is saying the reason why it's a no is because you are going to be learning very quickly that you are so much better off without this. Overall, I think you will get clarity about this specific question really soon, and the reason I think that is like this 10 of Embers here is telling me a direct, like, flat out no, this is not good for you, this is not something that will be beneficial to you on your path. And with the 8 of Embers, which represents the 8 of Wands, this is all about quick, fast pace, and I'm also hearing learning, so I feel like you will be learning why very soon. Maybe you're like, you had a recent tower moment, which is why you're needing to focus on yourself. Maybe it's about this love, and you're going to be realizing that you are so much better. Like, you are going to be rising from the ashes soon. You're not going to be down for long. I think January is definitely that month of introspection and reflection, so you can pop off throughout the year later. Because you are the phoenix. You are ready for a rebirth. And that rebirth is definitely coming to you. You just need to continue to have patience. Okay, let's go ahead and get into your final advice. So we do have Rose with true love. And I think what this is saying... Oh, you know what I'm seeing? I'm going to get up and show you this. Do you see that? There are birds, like seagulls on the side here, or it reminds me of seagulls. It reminds me of Taylor Swift 1989 cover. And I think this is saying, like, you deserve so much better than what you think you do and what people have made you believe you deserve. And I think it's time for you to hold out for that true love, to raise your standards to a place that you know you're worthy of. I think this is also saying, like, true love is possible for you. True love can happen for you. You just need to be patient and keep holding on to hope that there is someone out there that is going to match all of your requirements, like all of your standards. You are not too high maintenance. You are not asking for too much. You just know what you want. And especially, I've realized with women who know what they want, and I'm not saying you're a woman at all by any means, but those of you who select pile 1 who identify as being a woman, I've noticed that women who know what they want are very easily called a B word. And I can't say it because I don't want to get demonetized, because YouTube is sensitive, but I do see a lot of women aligned people backing themselves into a corner to try and accommodate everyone else, and keep themselves from shining and breaking free because they don't believe that someone will come around. And I'm also hearing, like, you deserve someone who gives you flowers every day. Maybe not every day, but, like, you know, if you've never been given flowers, or if it's been a really long time, like, that is something you deserve. All of these things that you're hoping and wishing for, that is something that you deserve, and that is something that you will experience. Just hold out hope for that. We're going to be using my homemade Angel Spirit Guide deck, and this has been sitting in rose petals for a while, so there might be some rose petals. Okay, Spirit, closing advice for pile 1. Closing advice for pile 1. That's too many. I'll take those. So, we have love is stronger than any emotion. Do not let anyone or anything take that away. We have, I know when I follow my passion for creativity, I will feel whole. Then we have, I remain grateful for all my gifts and talents given to me. I have a special and unique purpose to fulfill in this lifetime. Yes, absolutely. And that's why you might find yourself, like, constantly, to quote Taylor Swift, always rising from the ashes, mending all her gashes. Like, you are the phoenix, and you are meant to evolve. You are meant to be so much more than maybe a lot of people in this lifetime. And that's a huge responsibility, but you are totally capable of it. And sometimes, even the most amazing people in the world who have accomplished so much, who are so strong, even they have months where they just need to fill in a cup, where they just need to retreat, because later they will rise. But, okay, pile 1. That is all I have for you for this month. If you resonated with this reading, I hope you did. Feel free to give me a like. Feel free to comment. Comments are my favorite way to interact with everyone here on the page. You can also subscribe. I would love to have you join the Mellow Yellow Tarot family and join the community so you never miss videos in the future, and we can all love and support each other. But that is all I have for you here today. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, evening, good morning, blah blah blah. But yeah, bye pile 1. Hello, pile 2. Thanks so much for being here with me today. If you chose the pelican, then that's how you know you made it to pile 2. You found the right reading. I'm going to put that with your tarot deck or your oracle deck / tarot deck. And we are going to go ahead and get into your cards, spread them out. This card I'm going to put off to the side and save it till the end because this is one of your advice cards. Okay, so pile 2. For your main energy / focus this month, we have fabrication. Very interesting. I kind of want to show you this card because it's pretty cool. I really do love this deck. I just got it for Christmas and I'm so thankful. As far as what you are manifesting this month, we have a Keeper of Dreams. As far as how your spirit guides are helping you this month, we have Conjunction. And a main challenge for you this month, we have Peppermint. This says positive thoughts, inspiration, and wealth. Okay. All right, pile 2. I am feeling quite energized while channeling your pile because pile 1 was just a melancholic vibe. That's how I can best describe it, but you guys are filling me back up. And I also think it's really telling for how your month will go. I can tell that this is a group of individuals who are currently manifesting their dream life, dream job, dream something. I do kind of feel like this has to do with a way of living or a lifestyle change that you want to bring into your life. And it's actually funny that we have Keeper of Dreams representing what you are manifesting this month because you are literally manifesting your dreams. But let me be clear here. Based on a few other cards we have, I don't think this is a month where you're achieving your dream. But I do think this is a month where you are almost losing yourself in your dreams, but in the best way possible, in a very, very good way. I think a better way to say that would be, I guess, passion. I think your passion for this dream is being re-sparked this month, and you're feeling completely motivated this month to make the changes or put in the work where you need to in order to bring in your manifestations. I feel like this group has done a lot of scripting or like the spiritual aspect of manifesting leading up to this month, and now it's a switch. It's like a switch is being flipped and you're feeling called to start taking the action. And that's kind of what your energy this month is all about with fabrication. This is literally all about manifesting, creating what seems like the impossible from your own thoughts and willpower. I do want to note that maybe the 29th of January could be significant, or the 2nd, the 9th. Also, Aquarius season could be relevant since that is what sign will be in on the 29th of January. There's a message here, I think, to also not look outside of yourself for external validation or signs that your efforts are working, because kind of like we mentioned, you might not be seeing the results you want this month, but that doesn't mean that you're not heading in the right direction. And that doesn't mean that you're not doing everything right. I'm also getting this kind of weird message, and I'm being drawn to the spider on this card. And you know how spiders have their webs, and that's kind of like their hunting ground? Well, some spiders actually cover themselves in dirt and sand to protect themselves from predators. And then once like a little bug or something comes along, that's when they pounce. And there's two different things I'm getting from that. Firstly, let's say you're trying to manifest like a promotion, but there's been no talk of contracts or raises, even though you are doing the work. Some of you are actually benefiting right now from not being seen, like not being seen, being hidden in the dirt. And that's like because there are predators around you. For some of you, there are people who may feel entitled to this raise or promotion, and they think they've got it in the bag, so they're just kind of like waiting around for their moment. maybe because they've got seniority or whatever. And maybe what both of you don't know is that this promotion is actually based off of who gets the most calls about them, I don't know, like being a good employee. And so you're putting in all of this work, and little do you know, you've had like 8 more people call in about you than this other person. But now, think of if this person knew about the promotion, then you kind of might be neck and neck fighting for this position. So it actually might be a benefit for you to stay under the radar of sorts. Now, the other message I was getting from the spider, if there's something you've been kind of like telling yourself to be patient about, or you're waiting for the best time to do something, I think January is a great month to do it, to kind of like strike and strike like a spider on that little bug. For how Spirit is helping you this month with conjunction, I think there's some sort of knowledge or lesson that you've been struggling to understand or integrate, but this month I actually think you're going to be able to have full clarity about this. It's almost like a truth or something deep down that would be very beneficial for you to understand in this life would be illuminated. And I almost kind of feel relaxed saying this. Understanding this is going to make your life so much easier. You're observing the deeper reasons behind certain sayings or teachings, and you're taking it a lot more seriously. I feel like someone close to you might have something happen to them, or like they made a decision and you're witnessing them go through the consequences, and it's making you realize why some people say to do or not do something. And I do feel like this might be something passed down to you from your family, like a lesson of integrity or something like that. I also think some of you could be meeting a good teacher and you're kind of joining forces as partners. Like maybe you really want to learn something and your friend is going to school to teach that exact same thing. So they could get practice by teaching you, and you would get the opportunity to learn a new skill. I do feel like Spirit is kind of giving you the reins this month. They're kind of saying, we'll help out when you need, or if you really want help, but you have the plan and the free will to kind of make things happen. As far as your main challenge this month, I do think we have a very clear message here about your finances, and hopefully we can learn more in the tarot portion, but I don't feel like this is a month where you're necessarily seeing the results you want financially, and I think maybe that could bring your energy down this month. I do feel a little bit of disappointment while giving this message, and that could be this positive thoughts message here on the card too. Maybe shifting your finances has been something you've really been putting the work in for and a lot of energy towards. And you were really hoping this month would be the month where something finally shifts. And I feel a sort of exhaustion coming up. Like you keep fighting, but the fight isn't over, and you're having to scrounge up the last little bit of energy you can muster to get through this. And it does kind of feel like a final push. But I think you could benefit from being mindful this month of where your thoughts go. Okay. Pile 2. How about we get into your tarot portion of the reading? Okay. Let's do a couple shuffles. I kind of want to see 8 of Embers, 8 of Wands. Something is definitely coming in quick. I feel like this dream life of yours, you're absolutely on the track for manifesting that. Let's do... the deck is giving me truffle shuffling right now. Okay, I think we're ready. So, for my singles, pile 1, what can singles, or pile 1, pile 2, what can my singles in pile 2 expect this month in love? Okay, we have the Peacock, and I'm only taking uprights for this reading, and the 10 of Trees. Okay, pile 2 singles. The Peacock represents the Empress in the traditional tarot, and the 10 of Trees represents the 10 of Pentacles, which is like kind of the best cards you guys could get for a singles love reading this month. There is a message that was kind of coming through. Some of you have recently left a situation, or you said goodbye to a relationship, you walked away from someone who was not giving you what you know you deserve, who was not treating you like an empress. And I think this is something that some of you guys were kind of contemplating about for a really long time. Some of you might have been struggling with putting this person on a pedestal while you were seeing them or in a relationship with them. And it's almost like once you walked away, the pedestal kind of crumbled, and instead your tower started being built, and you started recognizing your worth. And essentially what I'm trying to say is this month you are going to be rewarded for leaving that situation or saying goodbye to people, places, and things. Well, I guess it would be people because we're talking about love, but you're being rewarded for putting yourself first in this situation. And I do kind of feel like some of you guys might be meeting someone really significant in your love life. And I do feel like this person is going to be the pursuer towards you guys. I think this person is going to be really drawn and magnified towards you this month. Something you're doing, you're just shining differently, your energy is clearing. A lot of you guys have seriously been getting rid of the dirty, the nasties before you went into this new year. And you are glowing from the inside out because you know that you deserved better in this situation. And Spirit is like, yes, you did deserve better. And now you are going to see why listening to your intuition in this situation was the best thing you could do for yourself. I do feel like whatever is coming to you this month, it's going to leave a sense of security for you. It's going to be something that you're able to build upon. Some of you, if you're just focused on being single and you're like, I just got out of a relationship, I don't want to deal with anyone, that's okay too. Maybe this month is all about building that fortress for yourself, finding the pleasure in yourself and building that mansion alone, so that you don't have to depend on anyone else. You are the empress. You are the one who is able to go out there. You don't have to listen to a king. You don't have to listen to anyone but yourself, because you know that your inside guidance is what truly matters in this life. And you know that listening to what your soul calls you to do is what will build you this fortress in the future. So maybe you don't have it right now, but you're living and you're feeling empowered this month, as if you have the love of your life, or maybe you're meeting the love of your life, meeting the person you want to marry. Whatever is happening this month for my singles, your love life is going to be good, or you're going to be feeling confident, you're going to be feeling taken care of, and you're going to be feeling nurtured. And you're going to be feeling like the queen, the empress that you are, and that you deserve to feel like. So that's like pretty cool for my love life, for my single peeps. How about pile 2, those in relationships? Spirit, what can pile 2 relationships expect this month? See, I hate when Spirit does this. I don't like when a whole bunch of cards fall out, but I kind of feel called to take all of these. So we have the orbs, we have the peacemaker, sorry, and then we have the 6 of birds and the 9 of trees. Very interesting. Okay. So let me just look in the guidebook for what these things are, and then we will channel. So as far as those in a relationship this month, for those of you in relationships this month, there's a couple different scenarios happening here, so I'm going to try and be as specific as I can, but also try and keep it a little broader so you can take what resonates and kind of leave what doesn't. But I do feel like maybe this is a month where you and your partner aren't necessarily seeing eye to eye, or maybe a lot of your guys' differences are going to be highlighted this month. This is a month where maybe both of you are going to be incredibly stressed out at work, and you're not really able to show up for each other in the ways that maybe both of you need. Some of you guys could be getting into an argument with your significant other this month. And some of you might honestly get to a point where you're contemplating, like, letting go of this partner, contemplating whether this is worth having in your life. But I don't want to scare you guys, because with the orbs and the peacemaker here, this is telling me the orbs represent strength, and the peacemaker represents the King of Cups. I do think that this person cares a lot about you. Now, obviously, if they've made some choices or showed you in other ways that they do not respect you as a person, I will always, always, of course, support any decision you make to search for better. But I do feel like, despite the challenges that you guys are going to experience this month, there is a core undercurrent of love between the two of you. And it's not just a fickle love. It really does run deep. It runs on a soul level. And I think this month, throughout these challenges, coming out of it on the other side, I think this is going to show you how strong your guys' love for each other truly is, and how you can get through even the most difficult periods together, as long as you remain true in love. I think any arguments that you guys experience this month, there is going to be a focus on reconciling and trying to fix whatever you've argued about, or trying to come to conclusions together, because I do kind of get the sense that this person does see you as someone that they might want in their life long term, if you know what I'm picking down. And of course that's totally dependent on where you guys think you're at in your relationship, but I don't know, I feel like maybe this is a month where it might not be the smoothest in your relationship, but getting over these hurdles, it's really, really going to solidify having this person as a partner in your life. I do think there is going to be a focus on prioritizing yourself this month and really showing up for yourself, because we've already acknowledged how maybe both of you aren't really able to show up for each other in a healthy way this month. So I do feel like there is a big emphasis on taking care of yourself, loving yourself, and being the number one support system for yourself this month, and maybe not overly relying on what your partner can give you this month, and allowing them the time and space that they need to be able to work through their issues. But overall, yeah, I do really get this sense that these issues are divinely sent to bring you two closer, which is beautiful. Why don't we move on to career and finances? And if you guys remember from the intro, there is going to be a specific question that I will be answering later in the reading. Actually, I think it's directly after we cover career and finances. And then I just want you to kind of keep that question in the back of your mind. Think about a yes or a no. Think about, anything that you might want clarity on this month or in general. But, okay. Pile 2, Spirit. Career and finances. What is happening in Pile 2's career and finances? Let's do career first, Spirit. Are those two? It's 3. Okay, I guess we're going to have to take 3. Okay. We've got the 4 of Lotuses, which is the 4 of Cups. We have the 7 of Birds, 7 of Swords, and the Past Lives card. Very interesting. And look at this. I love this deck because the art, especially when it goes by suits, it lines up with each other, so it almost tells a story. And if you guys have been here since the beginning, one of my very first videos, 2 years ago, how I started reading tarot was reading it like a storyboard, and I didn't really necessarily understand how to do it, but I could do it by reading like a story. So I would use a whole bunch of cards and I would just read it, and I feel like this deck does that. Anyway, I just wanted to highlight that. Okay, as far as your career this month, I do get a sense some of you guys are definitely in a career that is kind of lackluster, or just something that doesn't quite float your boat, in all honesty. And I do feel like it's kind of given you this worn down feeling this month, or you're at risk this month of feeling worn down by your job, or almost feeling like you can't do better, in all honesty. I think because you guys are so focused on manifesting this dream life for yourself this month, but your daily 3-day life hasn't caught up yet to your actions and your effort and your dreams, it can be very discouraging when we have to go to a job that we hate, that we know is out of alignment, that doesn't work for us, but we know we have to do it for security or just for the time being. It's that message of patience and having to sit and wait, having to roll with the waves, having to roll with the punches, you know? But shore is so close. I almost see these like lotuses as your hopes, your dreams, and it's interesting because we also have like 4 jewels here. And it's like it's like these jewels and these lotuses represent your dreams, and you're trying to ground them into reality. You're so close. I do want to point that out too. Like, the shoreline is right off of the distance, you know? Like, you've unlocked everything you need right now. It's just waiting for things to catch up. And that's where, you know, when you're being tossed over by the waves, or you're going to a toxic job and you're surrounded by people you don't like, it can get really, really exhausting, especially when you see the horizon right in front of you. But just know that these waves are pushing you even closer, even faster to the life, to the shore, to the ground that you want. It just might not be there yet this month. And we kind of already touched on that, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing is not being seen by spirit, and that doesn't mean that what you're doing is not working. With the 7 of Birds, this represents the 7 of Swords, and I think a lot of times I interpret the 7 of Swords when it comes out as like you need to keep your guard up, girl, or guy, or they, them. Like, you need to, I always say girl, because that's just, like, natural in my vocabulary, but I am trying to get better at that, because I know some people obviously might not want to be called girl as just, like, a term of endearment, you know? So I'm trying to get better at, like, something to say instead of, like, you go girl, when I'm clearly talking to someone who is not a girl. It's the same way where I'm like, hey guys, like, I don't know, but I know some people also don't like the whole hey guys thing. But I know I am only one person, and I can't be perfect, and I will never be perfect, so bear with me, guys. I'm not trying to offend you. Anyway, when the 7 of Swords comes out, I usually see it as a card of, you got some wolves in sheep clothing around you, you need to keep your guard up, keep things private. But I'm actually seeing something really different for you guys. I'm almost getting this sense of, like, Spirit is protecting you this month, because that's the other message with the 7 of Swords, is protection, strategy, overcoming obstacles, things like that. It's kind of like my war card, and it's a card of, like, be prepared, I guess. And I think Spirit is saying, while there might be sheep or wolves in sheep's clothing around you, you are protected from them. That's not what this message is about right now. I think what the 7 of Swords is coming out here to say is, like, create a solid routine, create a plan, because what is the best way to reach your goals? It's consistent action, consistent, persistent, and calculated action. Now, this is not me saying you need to go and you need to work 14 hours a day and you need to not see your family, because I think that's toxic. I think everyone needs rest. There are days where it takes me like 3 sit-down periods to film 1 reading, because I'm not going to sit here and force messages or force channeling, because it's a very spiritual thing, and if it's not ready to come out, it's not ready to come out. And I feel like you guys are being guided to almost have a same practice where you create a very strategic routine that helps you be the most productive on the least amount of energy and time, because I think you guys are very susceptible to getting burnt out. Maybe not like a full burnout this month because you are so invested in your dreams, but kind of like we said with the Four of Lotuses, that discouragement could come up. And so I think if you can get through this month by staying consistent and doing the same thing every single day. Some of you guys might be neurospicy like me, where routine really helps you thrive. And I do think that a routine is going to be what gets you through this difficult period, because you might not be able to see, like, say you're posting on YouTube. Maybe you're not seeing all the people come in and like subscribe and flow to your channel, but you can see progress in the ways of like, oh my gosh, because of my routine, I have produced 6 videos this month, whereas like in the last 3 months, I've been able to produce 4. But in 1 month, I was able to produce 6. You know what I mean? Like, there are ways you can monitor your progress in your career that keeps you protected from beating yourself up or feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you can't get to the shoreline, because I think that's the main thing you need to protect yourself from, is getting discouraged, because that's the thing that is going to kind of like self-sabotage you here with your goals and your dreams and the lifestyle that you want. Past lives is the death card in the traditional tarot. And I think Spirit is coming through to say, almost like a gentle reminder here, that you are absolutely correct in your assumption that you need to leave the career you're at and look for something new. Some of you might have recently left a career and you're in like a filler job right now until you get something else. And I do think Spirit is coming through to say, like, everything that you are doing right now is how it's supposed to be. Everything that you've gone through is how it's supposed to be. You've done everything right. And I think Spirit just wants to say, like, this is a cycle of life. You're going to get bored of things, and you're going to want to change, and you're going to want to learn, and you're going to want to grow. And that's not something you should punish yourself for. I think so often we get tricked into this narrative, especially like the older generations. I feel like some of the newer generations are kind of breaking out of this. But the idea that you have one career and that's what you have to follow for like the rest of your life, and you only have to, if you choose to be in sales at 21, you have to be in sales at 65. Like, that's all you're supposed to do in this life. And that is simply not true. We are human beings. We are constantly evolving and growing. We are meant to chase our passions. We are meant to chase happiness. And I think Spirit is saying that things are difficult right now, but that doesn't mean that you aren't reaching the shore eventually. You're in a death cycle right now where things are letting go. You're in a winter cycle right now where it may feel like nothing is going your way, but the tides will always change. You will have a rebirth moment. You will become the phoenix. You will have these people flock to you and be drawn to you because of the work that you're doing, because they're inspired by you, because they're able to recognize the realness inside of you. But it just takes time, and it takes patience. And just look at this period as a time to really, really get serious about your craft and to hone in what it is that makes you different and what stands out from other people. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long January predictions reading. Everyone's videos have been so long so far, but okay. What about finances, Spirit? I don't want to do a long spiel, but what about finances for pile 2? We're just going to take one card and go with it. Yeah. So we have the 10 of Wands. I don't want to say dead ass, but that's what's coming to my head right now. I dead ass thought of the 10 of Wands while I was like preparing for your reading. I was like, this definitely for finances, it feels like a 10 of Wands situation. And yeah, 10 of Wands is all about like feeling burnt out, feeling like you can't go on anymore. You can't keep living like this. Maybe you guys fall under that broke, starving artist narrative. And maybe you guys are like, Spirit, I've done my time. I've been a waiter, and I've been a singer, and I've been an actor. I've been running to auditions. I've been doing all of this stuff. When is it going to be my turn? And Spirit is definitely saying, like we've covered before, your turn is coming, but again, not this month. Finances might feel a little sticky. You might feel like expenses just keep coming out of nowhere, and you're kind of like, how am I going to be able to manage this? And I think Spirit is saying, like, not everything has to be figured out right now. Of course, if it's like an eviction notice, which I really don't think you guys will be getting evicted this month, I want to say that, but I'm just trying to throw out something outrageous, you know? If it's like a debt notice that you're gonna get fined for or something, I don't know, you guys know what I mean, but like, obviously take care of what you have to, but if there are things that you can kind of put off this month of paying, or you can rework your finances to be a little bit nicer on you, do that, because I don't think this is a month where you're gonna be getting your finances in order, and that's not on you. Spirit wants to say that is not on you, but it's just something you gotta be aware of this month. It's not gonna be the best financially. Okay, now we are on to the yes or no portion. So right now I am going to have you think of a question, think of something you want clarity on, send those questions my way, take a few deep breaths, and then we are going to see. So, Spirit, for pile 2, what is the answer to pile 2's question? Spirit, what is the answer to pile 2's question? So we have the 8 of Wands. I feel like taking one more. Okay. And the 3 of Birds, which is the 3 of Swords. So, very interesting, because with the 8 of Wands, I would traditionally take that as a yes, but with the 3 of Swords, that is absolutely a no. So I'm going to take this as a maybe right now. Whatever you asked about, if it's a yes or no, I'm going to say it's a maybe. And the reason I'm saying this is a maybe is because I don't think this opportunity, person, place, or situation is ready for you yet. And I say yet because I do feel like this is something that is meant to be yours, or something that you're meant to have an experience with. It is something that is going to be coming to you, but I feel like you might want to reject it right now and wait for it to come back better. Like, what's an example? We could talk just like as a person. If this is a person, I feel like this person hasn't done the growth enough yet to see you, how deeply you see them. And that doesn't mean that they're not attracted to you, that they don't want you. But I do feel like this person would bring in a lot more pain right now than good. And so I do think it might be good to reject or just stay friends, or keep up boundaries with this person right now. If you're asking about a specific career opportunity, I think this is saying, like, absolutely go after it right now, because the experience is what's important here. Like, an example that is immediately coming to my head, I went and oh my god, this is like over a year ago. Sometimes I like to do things just to kind of shake me up and humble myself. And there was this audition that I absolutely knew I had no credibility, no reason that I should have been in that audition room. But I was like, I called them and I was like, hey, I have no qualifications, but I kind of want to just show up, can I? And they were like, yeah, of course, like, you're probably not going to get it, but like, you can always audition. And I was like, great, that's all I want to do. And I showed up, and it sucks because I spent so long trying to work on it, but I knew I just wasn't at that level yet. So I go into the room and I absolutely bomb the audition. And it's funny now, but at the time I was like, Oh my God, Spirit. Like, why did I do that? I knew I wasn't gonna get it. But I think now that I've had growth, I'm able to see that if I didn't go in there and absolutely make a fool out of myself, there is so much in the last year that I wouldn't have had the bravery to do. And I really do think that that one experience was something that I was meant to have. Like, I was meant to make a fool out of myself. And I kind of knew, like, going into it, that I was going to make a fool out of myself. And I think that experience really gave me this attitude of, like, let the worst happen because it'll be funny eventually and I will learn and grow from this experience. So I do kind of get a sense of that going on here. Like, yes, go after this opportunity. Yes, put in your best work, but don't expect to get the best out of this situation, or just like right now isn't the time. So I hope that gave you some clarity. It's going to be interesting. I want to know what you guys are all asking about. But let's go ahead and get into your final guidance. We have Marigold with creativity. So yeah, Spirit is obviously highlighting this month is all about taking care of you, being creative, and getting in the zone, and not letting things distract you, not letting life tear you down, not letting yourself be so worried about your skill level too. I think people get it in their head that they can't be creative unless they're good at it. But bro, I sucked at tarot for a really long time before I got good at it. I sucked at acting for a really long time until I got kind of good at it. And then I really sucked at singing until this year where I got kind of good at it. And so the moral of the story here is sometimes you won't be the best right out of the gate. Sometimes you're not going to have that success story where you've been homeschooled all your life and then someone hears you singing and then you're the next big superstar, hashtag Olivia Rodrigo. But not necessarily, because she was acting and doing a lot of stuff before. But this is a month where you just need to unleash your creativity and just have fun with it. And just experiment with what makes you happy this month, because that's what matters. Okay, we're going to use my homemade Spirit deck that I haven't used since, honestly, I first started this channel. So, Spirit, for pile 2, closing advice messages. I'm just gonna see what comes out. Okay, so we have Elk. Pace yourself and eat foods that fuel your body. Seek out friendship with those of the same gender. Then we have 111, new beginnings on the horizon. So that's exciting. You guys actually got a lot more than pile 1. We have Bluebird, enjoy this moment, be you, and speak your truth. Meditate outside and be happy and confident. We have handle situations with grace and strength. Especially if you go to an audition that you know you're gonna fail. Because what I did in that situation, I messed up completely, and they said, do you want to go again? And I said, nope, thank you so much. That's really all I wanted to do was just try. And they were like, okay, thanks so much for your time. And I left. And then we have 911 or 911. It says, a phase is ending, but your goals are close to fulfillment. Yes, that death card, definitely. Things are coming. You are so close, guys. I know I will always be able to give my burdens to the universe. And last but not least, we have Orca. Do not fear anything or anyone right now. Trust your intuition to find soul family members, especially if you are a part of that group who walked away from someone and you're like, good riddance. Good for you. You should always put yourself first. But pile 2, this is going to be a long reading. I hope you got what you needed from here today. I hope this reading resonates. If it did, feel free to give me a like. Feel free to comment. I love reading comments. That's my favorite way to interact with you guys. And I feel like it just helps me channel a little bit better. Like if I know who's actively watching my channel and I know kind of what's going on in their life, I can kind of throw little tidbits in there and kind of like connect the dots with specific people who watch me. But also, of course, subscribe if you liked Mellow Yellow Tarot, because we would love to have you join us for more videos in the future. But that is all I have for you, Pile 2. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed afternoon, good evening, and good night. And good morning. Bye, Pile 2. Alright, hello Pile 3. Thanks so much for being here with me for your reading today. I am going to go ahead and just really quick, oops, I didn't light that enough. I'm going to go ahead and clear the energy of this space, and I really felt called to do this while you're here with me because I feel like some of you guys could use a little bit of an energetic cleanse, so take a nice deep breath in and out. Okay, you are cleansed. I am cleansed. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, Pile 3, if you chose the Cosmic Tree, then that's how you know you made it to Pile 3. You found the right reading. I'm going to go ahead and put that card with the rest of the tarot, and we are going to go ahead and spread out your oracle cards. Now, this card we are going to save till the end because this is a part of your advice. So, your energy slash your main focus for the month of January is number 31 with Shield. What you're manifesting this month, we have number 11 with Risk. It has a really cute little butterfly. Then we have, this card represents how your spirit guides are helping you this month. We have Pluto. Then we have Black Tea. Oh, I did it again. This card represents a main challenge for you this month, and we have Black Tea with grounding, strength, and expelling negativity. Bleh, I can't talk. This is what happens when you get to Pile 3. Your voice box goes out, and poor Pile 3 has to suffer through. I hope I'm not too bad for you. Okay. Pile 3. I do want to say that January 2024 is going to be one of those months that will be a catalyst to your journey towards the life you've always wanted. And I want to give you a little bit of background right now for why I'm saying this. The cards are one thing, and they are definitely speaking volumes here. But when I was sitting with your pile before reading, I started hearing like rumbles and tumbles, for lack of better words. And then when I closed my eyes, I was brought to the edge of a really long mountain range, and I was looking up, and I started to notice the mountains were moving, and they were clearing a path for me to walk easily, almost like they were creating a valley for me to walk. And similarly, with kind of the imagery on the Pluto card, let me go ahead and show you this. It's giving me this feeling of like someone's been walking around in this really dark forest that kind of seems to never end, and then this person comes across a door in the middle of the forest, and the door is leading you to where you want or maybe where you need to go, and it's leading you with an easier path. It's almost like the stairs kind of seem lit up in this really dark forest. And it's interesting that I was being brought to the Pluto card with that message because this card is all about how your spirit guides are helping you right now, or helping you this month. And I promise there's a point to what I'm trying to say here, but let me also explain another factor here that I think is relevant. I've had trouble understanding what exactly your guys' message was supposed to be. When I initially pulled your cards, I felt kind of stumped and a little lost, because the cards here show very powerful energies, and it was almost like I felt incompetent deep down to be able to channel your message properly, so I took my time, and every day for probably like 5 days, I sat down with your cards and with your spirit guides to just experiment and see what I think these cards could represent, leaving, honestly, like nothing off the table. And I had an openness to whatever kind of came through. And then there was this huge message that came through, and it was to rest. Now, as for what I think all of this is telling me about your January prediction, You've either recently or in the near future experienced a dark night of the soul. Things probably felt out of control, or they currently feel out of control. A lot of changes are probably happening around you or have happened, and it feels like you can't keep up. You may have had to kind of confront your ego in order to make it out of this last period. And maybe some of you are still resisting letting go of part of your identity that you know deep down doesn't really resonate with who you are or who you're becoming. For example, maybe your whole life you've been told you're an extrovert and the life of the party, but recently and through these changes you've realized that you were only acting that way because you craved attention and validation, because maybe your home life was really hard. Maybe mom and dad had to work all of the time and you had to be the strong one for your siblings. And now, maybe you've healed your relationship with a parent, or you've learned to give yourself the love that you deserve instead of seeking it from others. And maybe you've realized you don't like going out as much. Maybe you like reading and drinking tea while you listen to jazz, you know? There are parts of you that are being realized this month, and I think Spirit is coming through this month to show you an easier way or an easier path that is way more in alignment with your true self. But I think the way to see this path is when you remember your true self, or when you tell Spirit that you're ready to remember who you truly are. Because Spirit always wants to help us and to guide us towards the absolute best for us, but we as humans have free will. And Spirit will always respect that. If we don't invite them to guide us or to show us the way and give us answers, they literally can't show up. This is kind of one part of co-creating with the universe, and it's inviting Spirit to work wonders and miracles in your life, while you also put in the hard work and the effort. Your energy this month is definitely highlighted around protecting your energy, lying low, and making sure you're putting yourself first. Some of you are recovering people pleasers who are incredibly charming, very kind, and very loving. And I think people are normally drawn to that, like moths to a flame. Your energy is really healing, and some people just simply aren't in a place where they can see what they have. This month isn't a time to try and stand out, especially if you're in an environment that could change at the flip of a coin. Some people might be triggered by how well you perform at something, or they're just feeling triggered by your existence right now. And it's just best this month to not try to ruffle any feathers, because I do think there's a better option or a better solution coming to you, and it's being sent by Spirit. As far as what you're manifesting this month, pile 3, we have risk. And I think some of you are going to be manifesting the sudden release of something for something better. And that can go for a lot of things. Some of you are releasing a person for a happier inner world, or maybe you're leaving a specific major in school for a paid internship at the best company in your country. There's a massive shift happening somewhere in your life, and hopefully we will definitely see more in tarot. I think what's important to note is that this change you're manifesting is not happening without your consent. I feel like a lot of you might be breathing a sigh of relief right now. And yes, you absolutely should, because this is going to come because you are purposefully looking for better, or acknowledging that you deserve better, and you're making the decision to experience the greener grass. You're taking a risk that is going to pay off. As for your main challenge this month, we have black tea, and this is kind of a specific message, but if you've had issues with nightmares or sleepwalking in the past, you may have some brief encounters with that again this month, and I think it's largely due to the stress on your plate. And I do think while you're experiencing this sort of lost feeling that we kind of covered at the start of your reading, I think it may kind of dwindle your confidence a little bit. You may just feel kind of up in the clouds or unsure. That's honestly, it's not that you are feeling bad about yourself, but you're just kind of confused, and that can kind of leave us a little unconfident. I think self-care is going to be huge for you this month. And I think anytime you're feeling weak or drained is the time when you need to pull back and do something for you. Do something to take care of you. Okay, pile 3. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking around with me. I hope all of this made sense. I will say that if it didn't really resonate, I think you should honor that feeling and choose a different pile. Maybe some of these energies make sense and others just really don't. And you can absolutely choose more than one and experience more than one energy in a given month. But we are going to go ahead and get into our tarot portion of the reading now. Gonna do a couple shuffles. How are you doing today? I forgot to ask like a question to each of the groups, so maybe I'll just have to ask pile 3 and pile 4. Let's think of a question. I think we asked the weather and what pets you have last. What would you name your child? Or if you have children, why did you name them that name? What is the reasoning behind the name of a child? I've always liked Xavier, and I'm saving the girl's name because one celebrity has already used it, and I don't want it becoming even more bigger, you know? Because I feel like the name that I've chosen for a girl is going to blow up in the next few years, and I'm kind of worried about that. So I'm gonna try and keep it a little hush-hush, but yeah, for a boy, I've always loved the name Xavier. Okay, pile 3, singles. Spirit, what is happening for pile 3 in their, for singles pile 3 love life? Singles pile 3. Okay. So, and I am only taking uprights today. We have the 9 of Embers or the 9 of Wands, and the 5 of Embers or the 5 of Wands. So, singles. Some of you are honestly getting fed up with someone. You might be realizing that this person isn't as good as maybe who you projected them to be, or maybe you're realizing that this person honestly lied about who they were, or they were pretending to be who they were, and you've kind of seen the true colors this month. So you might have a little experience where you're getting a little fiery with someone. You might have an argument with someone. And this might be this whole message of protecting your energy. I don't think you're going to be too happy in your love life. If you are currently like, if you've been dating someone but you're like not in a committed relationship, I do think something's going to come out or something's going to snap in you this month where you might not be willing to put up with the same old anymore. And I think you're kind of saying good riddance. I think you're definitely, I mean, Pluto destruction, we've got risk, we've got shield, like, you guys are having a very red month, or a very like Plutonian destruction, death, rebirth cycle sort of month, and I think you guys are ready to burn things to the ground that no longer serve you. And I do think if you're single or you are seeing someone but it's not committed yet, you are going to be cutting that person down. Some of you guys are just making a decision that you really deserve better, or that you might have been dealing with someone who just is very good at pretending. I don't want to get too far into it because I'm still I've been told I need to work on my delivery of some messages, and I can totally see where people are coming from with that because I'm autistic, I'm blunt, things in an holistic world don't always make sense to me, so I'm trying to be very kind and respectful of how I say this, but I do think you are realizing your worth this month. And I do think you run a risk of being a little fiery, so if you enjoy being a person who is hot at the mouth and pops off, you might have your turn this month to really tell this person off, or tell them what you really think about them. For those of you who are trying to grow and do better for yourself and not waste so much time and energy on people. I think there is a little bit of a message this month to really, really hone in that fire. I am an Aries rising. I understand the fire within. I understand how it boils and explodes. And I do just think there could be a risk of you maybe acting out of character or acting in a way that you are trying to grow away from because of finding something out this month with this person or something. Something. Yeah. It's not going to be the most pleasant experience, but I think this experience is going to really show you your power. I'm almost being reminded of Te-Fiti. You know how in Moana, Te-Fiti had her heart stolen. She turned into, oh my gosh, what was her name? She turned into the volcano woman, and she caused all this mass destruction because she needed her heart. Either someone has broke your heart, or someone's actions, you're finding out about something, and it might cause you to turn into the lava monster Te-Fiti. So just remind yourself that you are the person who can always lead you back to your heart. No one can take from you. But just be protective, I think, this month, and monitor how you want to act. I won't tell people. If you want to go off on someone who deserves it, I will be in full support of that. I personally am trying to grow from being such a hot mouth because I think my words can get me in trouble sometimes, and I am not a perfect person, and I will never judge anyone else because I've made mistakes. But yeah, I just feel like you guys are also on that path where you're trying to learn and do better for yourself, but this month you might get triggered in that one spot that just makes you want to explode. Okay, let's move on to those in relationships this month. Pile 3, what can Pile 3 expect in their relationship? We'll take those. I feel like, okay, we have the Protector. We have the Geomancer. And we have the 3 of Trees, which is the 3 of Pentacles. So some of you guys, sorry, I'm burping a lot. Some of you guys are working with your partner this month. If you're in a relationship with them, you're like co-creating on some sort of activity or some sort of project. Some of you are also like maybe making home improvements or like destroying something in your home. I just got a visual of like you breaking tile in like a kitchen or a bathroom with a partner. I don't know, that's very specific. Some of you guys are doing some home improvements this month and some sort of work together that is going to feel really nice, feeling really rejuvenating. It's like a nice quality time, I feel, with your partner, where you get to do things that you enjoy together. It's very nice. It does feel like a collaborative energy here. I do think for those of you in committed relationships, your love life is going to be a lot easier than those who are single. I will say that. And that's nothing on anyone's fault. It's just how the cards fall sometimes. I also think, like, some of you in a relationship, your partner is going to be, like, re-sparked. Their feelings are... Spirit, I can't say that. How can I say this without getting demonetized? Let's just say your person might be a lot more ready for some fun bedroom activities this month than they have been in recent months. And all I heard is multiple rounds. Again, if you guys want a Patreon, let me know, because I can't talk about this stuff on here, but on Patreon I can't. I do feel like there's gonna be a little bit of a hot and steamy energy. I feel like a rekindling of a passion is happening here, and I also feel like this person, if you guys are like taking a big risk here and stepping into your power, I think this person is going to be a little turned on by that, seeing you step into your confidence, step into your boss babe energy. Like, I don't know. This person just wants to get close with you this month, and they're feeling very lit up by you, both in their heart and in the downstairs area, and they're very physically attracted to you this month, which is very good. So I do think the physical intimacy is going to be on a very good note this month. And I do feel like your partner is kind of going to be stepping up this month to take care of more responsibilities than they normally do, or they're just going to be like drawn to taking care of you and making sure you have time to focus on like divine feminine aspects. I don't know. I just feel like your partner, whether they're a man, a woman, whether they don't identify on the gender spectrum, they are going to be embodying a more masculine energy this month, and it's going to be focused on allowing you to take a more feminine role in your life this month, at least in partnerships, which is really cool. I think you're going to be feeling nurtured, protected, and taken care of with your partner. Now, as far as, we're into career and finances. Career and finances, Spirit, for pile 3 in the month of January. Okay. We have the Unknown and the Two of Lotuses, which is the Two of Cups. And can I get one for finances, please, Spirit? Cool. And Dream World. Okay. So actually, I think if the risk that you guys are wanting to take this month is to leave a job for something new or go after a bigger opportunity, I think that is one of the best things you can do for yourself this month. Because I think you really are going to be falling in love with some other passion, or passion is going to be reignited within you because you are making yourself a priority and you are choosing to honor where your soul wants yourself to go, and you're really going to be reaping the benefits of that, especially if this is a new career, because you're going to be completely at home and in love with this new opportunity for work or this new career. Whatever is happening, like, you guys are going to be feeling at home. The people you work with is going to be feeling really good to you. You're going to be feeling loved, appreciated, especially. And I also get this sense of like, with this career, there is more of a focus on taking care of each other, or like taking care of the community so that you can produce your best work together as a team. I think there's a very different shift with this career that is coming to you, or there's a different shift in the career that you're having this month. Like, maybe you're at the same old job, but maybe like, say you have a bit of a leadership standpoint and you are able to dictate the next like big boss that comes in, and you have a say in that, and you really like this one person and they get the job and they come in and they are going to completely change the dynamic of work. Like, they're going to get rid of the toxic people, they're going to be reliable for you, and they're really going to be focused on creating a happy and healthy work environment. I do feel like career is going to be feeling a lot better for you, especially if this is what you need to leave in order to, experience this. The Unknown represents judgment, and I do feel like you're going to be awakened to how things could be. Like, and you're going to be realizing that a lot of these people, or like these corporations, are just stuck in a cycle of grind and hustle culture, which keeps them stuck in ego, which also keeps them stuck in this negative pattern and this negative cycle. And I feel like this change that is happening is going to be awakening you to this place of like, things don't have to be this way. Like, we don't have to be miserable at work. Life doesn't have to be miserable. I can be happy doing something for 8 hours a day. Like, that is something that you should have in your life. And I think this change you're making in your life is helping you realize in your career, like, you deserve happiness. You deserve to be in a space where you're appreciated, where people recognize the hard work that you put in. You deserve to be around coworkers who treat you like a human being, who want you on the team, who want to collaborate. They're not focused on competition, they're focused on collaboration and community. And they know that it's the community that gets us there faster than individualism ever did. With Dreamworld, I do think you're going to be having a good improvement to your finances this month. Especially if you're choosing a new job, maybe you're getting a raise, maybe you're accepting a different position. Whatever it is, your finances are going to be taken care of this month. You're kind of going to be feeling almost like overabundant this month. Almost like you have so much that you maybe don't know what to do with it. Maybe you're getting like a settlement back from court from a long time ago, or maybe like insurance is finally paying out something. You're getting a large lump sum of cash that you are entitled to. Like, I don't know, I just feel as though a lot of rewards materially are coming to you this month. And it's because you're protecting your energy and you're choosing to align yourself with something much better and much more aligned with you. Okay, so we are now at the portion of your reading where we are going to be looking at a specific question you have on your mind. So go ahead and think of that question. Think of your intentions with what you want to know based on this, and we're going to try our best to talk about that. Okay. Feel like doing one more shuffle, and then I think we are good to go. So take a nice deep breath. Keep that question clear in your mind's eye or in your thoughts. Maybe say it out loud. Okay, Spirit, what is the answer to pile 3's question? What is the answer? Okay, we're going to take those two. So we have the pelican and we have the maze. So I know the pelican is the emperor. Let me see what the maze represents real quick. Okay, so whatever you guys asked, this is saying yes, even almost like an absolutely, but also perhaps a not yet, or there's still more to figure out, or there's still more to become before you fully reap. Sorry guys, it cut off there, so I'm not sure what all you were able to hear there, but I'm just gonna wrap this up really quickly. The pelican is representing the emperor, and the maze represents temperance. So I am getting a clear yes here, almost like an absolutely, but I do feel this hint of maybe not quite yet, or there's still some more work to do, or like you're on the right path, you are being guided to the gold, you're being led through the labyrinth, you have everything you need to be the king, or the I don't even know what I'm saying. You have everything you need, but maybe the full rewards of this aren't here just quite yet, but this is absolutely, this is coming, maybe not immediately, but it is coming. Some of you, it might be happening immediately, depending on what you're asking, but whatever you're asking here, it's a yes. Some of you might have to wait a little bit longer, or work a little bit harder, or just learn a couple little more lessons, and then it will be completely yours. Okay, let's go ahead and finish off with our closing advice. So we have ambition with Hollylock. And I think I do get a sense like this group is really taking a risk, putting themselves out there, and they're going to be popping off in their career. And I think that's because you're ambitious. You know what you want, you go after what you want, and you stay locked on that goal. And you keep working, you keep grinding. Even when things get hard, even when things are difficult, even whenever you realize, oh my gosh, I need something completely different, this is not what I wanted, and you put yourself on a completely different path. You are ambitious, and that is what is going to get you the most rewards in this life, because you don't give up. That is such an important lesson in this life, especially in this day and age. Do not ever, ever lose sight of your dreams. Do not ever give up, no matter how hard it is. Even if you take breaks. I've taken years of breaks from many of my talents, my passions, my things, but I always come back to it, and I always slowly get better, just like you guys will. Keep going, don't ever give up, and never lose sight of what you want. So, we are going to close off with some messages from my homemade spirit deck that I haven't used in like a year. But I really like this deck, and I don't know why I stopped using it. I should create more homemade decks. So, Spirit, closing advice for pile 3. Let's take that. So, we have release the blocks so I may be free. Yeah. Release it because you are ready for something new. New appreciation for life sparks creativity and abundance. Yeah. Like you're ready to accept this new path. You're ready to be shown what it is that is truly meant for you, and you're going to be so much more happier. I do not fall into temptations that aren't in my highest good. Definitely talking about that protective energy, and just like understanding what is and isn't for you. And even something I've been learning a lot, we can have so much love for people. We can think they are great. But sometimes love is not enough to make something work, and it's absolutely not a good enough reason to stay in a situation that makes you miserable. And I will leave that at that. I am capable of all I set my mind to, yes, with that ambition. I am protected against lower vibrational energies, absolutely. We have the duck. Have fun and get silly. Release pent-up emotions. Don't deny yourself your needs. And last but not least, I remain grateful for all my gifts and talents given to me. Yes. Okay. So, pile 3. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, feel free to give me a like. Feel free to subscribe. And join the Millennial Tarot family so you don't miss any videos coming up in the future. Also, I would love for you to leave a comment. That is my absolute favorite way to interact with you guys. But without further ado, I'm going to leave this here. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed afternoon, good evening, good night, and good morning. Goodbye, pile 3. Hello, pile 4. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading. If you chose the Protector, then you made it to pile 4. You are at the right reading. I put that card over with the rest of the deck. Let's go ahead and get into your Oracle cards. So this card I'm going to put off to the side because that's one of your advice cards for later. As far as your main energy or focus this month, we have Shadow Magic. For what you're manifesting this month, we have Prepare. And then you guys actually got 2 cards for how Spirit is helping you this month. And we got the Lunar Eclipse. And how am I going to fit this? And 2. And then this card represents what is going to be a main challenge for you this month. And we have Lemongrass. This says growth, psychic ability, and expanding horizons. Pile 4. I think January is all about confronting the fears and blocks in your life that keep you feeling small or less than. And I think that's definitely being shown here with your main energy this month being represented by Shadow Magic. I feel like this group were probably labeled as overly sensitive children or just really shy. But I think it's actually because you could always see deeper than what felt like most people around you, or you could almost see the danger when others couldn't. Maybe you were labeled or like made out to be the black sheep in your family because you could see the issues and systems set in today's society that might have been upheld by your family, and you were kind of made to feel like your perspective was wrong because it was different. And I wouldn't be surprised if this created a lot of anxiety or built up tension in your body that might have honestly internalized itself into fear. And I think some of you have struggled with letting that fear hold you back from experiencing life. I think it's totally human to want to avoid the things that make us scared, like the things that are out of our control or out of our comfort zone. But I think that's how we can easily trick ourselves into disempowerment, because the more we let something control our actions, the more we may start to believe that we aren't able to take that control back. And essentially what I'm trying to say is that this month is all about taking that power back and facing what has been keeping you stuck. And I think dealing with these energies this month is going to be significant because the work you're doing right now is what's going to be able to allow you to welcome in a bright and new future. And that's being shown here with the Prepare card, I think. This card represents what you're manifesting, and I really do think this is all about laying that foundation for yourself so you can reap the abundance you want, or the dreams you want and desire. You may feel like the universe or spirits keep blocking your manifestations, or it's almost like they're dangling things in front of you and then like taking it away just as quickly. But I think it actually might be because you're accepting less in this situation. Like some sort of wounding, the wounding you're healing right now, has tricked you into thinking you could only pull like one specific person, or that you couldn't become a legend at something you're passionate about. You couldn't become the best at something. And it's time to examine that fear because you are ready to start receiving more. Your self-worth is probably going to be a main thought in the back of your mind throughout this year. I do think you'll be going through a powerful leveling up too. Because once this fear has been acknowledged and you're able to start working on it, or it just like be, what's the word I'm looking for? Like be cognizant of it while you're living your life. There is a message here to not push yourself to a point of burnout. Because I honestly don't think pushing to produce more would actually help in this situation, or being more productive than what you are right now. It might put more blocks in your path. And I think right now, this month is all about grounding. What can you do to support yourself and get yourself ready for this life change? Just like a player in a race, I don't know what they're called, like a racer, I don't know. They don't just show up to a marathon and win. They spend months, sometimes even years, perfecting their run technique and their pacing, and then they find the right gear, and then they find the right food that fuels them. They need to understand all these different facets about themselves in order to reach the success that they want, because everyone is different, and I think you've been made to feel like you have to do other things, or you have to, I don't know, like, I feel like maybe you've been told some wrong advice in your past, where you've been told to just avoid the things that scare you, or to not acknowledge the things that bring up strong emotion in you, or to like just keep yourself small. And I think it's time to flip that switch and to realize the power that you have inside. Everything with that like racer analogy, all that needs to be applied to your life right now, and see what changes you can make to slowly support yourself. As far as how your spirit guides are helping you this month, I'm being called to start over with the 2 card actually, and I want to kind of take this in a literal sense and say this represents 2 people or 2 energies coming together. So I do think there could be a significant partnership coming into union this month, or like a deepening of one that you already have. I think this person is going to be a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on for sure this month, as you're discovering truths about yourself or the world and like others around you. Maybe you're taking off the rose-colored glasses a little bit this month. Some of you are going to be having a conversation with someone that will create deeper understanding and love between you two. And I think you're going to feel really supported this month overall. I also think if you're feeling drained this month, this person that this energy represents will not drain you. So you might have an easier time trying to like find that energy based on that little tidbit. As far as lunar eclipse, I definitely think Spirit is highlighting some sort of release, either spiritually or emotionally. It could be physically of pain. I just heard some of you are honestly like going to a chiropractor or a massage therapist, something like that, and they're giving you a deep pain release in your body that you've stored up. And for some reason, I'm seeing this person's hair, like the mushrooms up here, I'm seeing it as antennas. I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you it's not in focus, but you can kind of see it. Okay. Anyway, with the antennas, I feel like you'll be really tapped into spirit this month, or just have a stronger connection to the spirit realm. Your dreams could be really active, or you could receive downloads and messages through your dreams, or just you might be a bit of a night owl tonight, maybe tonight is significant, but this month, yeah. And I think you're going to be making some strong realizations this month that cause you to kind of take immediate action. Maybe you finally have enough of eating fast food or like bad habits, and you just immediately make a decision then and there that you're not going to do it anymore. And I think you might actually stick with it. I think this month might be a month where you make a final decision and you're just kind of over it. Like, once you come to the realization, you're like, I can't like go on pretending that I haven't come to this realization. Like, my reality has been changed. I believe this now and I can't unsee it. Any sort of releasing or emotional work this month will be completely supported by this 2-person and your spirit team. As for your main challenge this month, I think you're definitely struggling with anxiety over the direction you're heading in. A lot of things may kind of feel up in the air right now, and you're not sure if you're moving in the right direction. And I think trusting the universe might be a challenge. Also, just growing pains, seeing where you were wrong in situations, and realizing where you allowed less than you deserved. It can be hard to understand those truths, but I think it's important for you to know that what comes to you this month will benefit you so much in the future, and everything will start to make sense later. I promise. I think the waiting right now is just what's going to be the annoying part, kind of like in the limbo. There's also a message here about those of you who are interested in exploring psychic abilities. You may have an encounter that you're honestly like not ready for, and I am like tearing up. I don't want to show my face or anything, but like I'm not sure if you can hear my sinuses getting like crazy. I'm like, and I've got goosebumps. Yeah, so you might get a little spooked. And I'm honestly not sensing anything evil or malicious, but like, let's say you finally sit down and you meditate to your spirit guides and you ask them, you're like, show me this one specific sign, or have this specific person say this on this day at this time, and it actually happens. And I feel like it would just leave you a little weirded out, feeling like questioning your reality, or just trying to make sense of something that feels impossible, which is kind of interesting. It could be a challenge if it's something that like you really weren't ready for, but you can always, I will say, when it comes to like seeing spirits or like interacting with spirits, spiritual boundaries are a thing. You can absolutely like have really good protection around you to where spirits aren't able to manifest around you. Like, for instance, I used to see spirits when I was younger, and I would get so scared, and I was like, I recognize I have this ability, I recognize most of these spirits don't want harm on me, but I am freaked out, spirit, can we like please not let me see spirits? And I just stopped seeing them. And I always knew when they were around, like I'm a medium, that's why I do tarot, like I'm a weird gal, don't get me wrong, but you can have boundaries like that where you don't have to experience something if it's really freaking you out, or if you're just really not ready for a certain type of experience. So I think I'm just coming through as a warning to say, like, if you want to put up boundaries, now would probably be a good time if you haven't already experienced this weird phenomenon that seems to be coming for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the tarot portion of your reading. Pile 4. Hope you're doing well today. I asked pile 3 a question because I forgot that we were doing that thing where I ask each of the pile a question if they want to leave a comment and just like interact. But I've already forgotten what the question was that I came up with. So, yeah. I don't know. Tell me a fun fact about yourself in the comments. That will be, I guess pile 3 and pile 4 get unique questions and pile 1 and pile 2 are left out. Oopsies. Oopsie poopsies. Maybe next month it'll be reversed. Anyway, okay. Spirit guides for pile 4. For those single for pile 4, what can they expect this month in their relationships? In love. Singles. Okay, let's take these, and I'm only taking uprights. So we have the orbs, and we have the 6 of trees, which is the 6 of pentacles. So definitely some reciprocity here. I'm also getting this feeling like some of you guys are going on a first date with someone, and it's going to be going really well. Let me see what the orbs represents, because that's not normal. Okay, yeah, the orbs represent strength. So yeah, I kind of feel like you're going to be taken aback by your feelings for someone, or like you're going to be taken aback by someone's strong feelings for you. I do feel like love is in the air for my single peeps in pile 4. It's almost like there's a feeling either you manifested this person or they manifested you, or maybe you guys both feel like you manifested each other. It's interesting, this imagery, because there's a river kind of going crisscross over here, but then also the path goes crisscross and they interlock here and there's a bridge. And I feel like it's almost like divine timing had a play in this, because if you met this person even like a month earlier, it wouldn't have worked or it wouldn't have panned out. But it's almost like the perfect timing, perfect circumstances, like everything just kind of seems to align this month with this person. So I do feel like there's a reason, or at least a purpose, that you are meeting this person or having this person in your life. There's also there's this big strong tree in the middle of the card, and with strength too, like this little swirling smoke, it kind of reminds me of roots. And so I'm just being reminded of like being able to ground with someone or set down roots with someone. I feel like this person is looking for something serious, so that might also give you a clue as to who this person is. And I don't think this is the type of person that will leave you questioning like where you stand in their life. I feel like from the gate, like once you guys establish that you're talking like in a romantic sense, I think this person is going to do things to make sure you always feel like a priority compared to other people. Because you know, sometimes when you're like casually dating someone, or even if you're like kind of looking for something serious but you're not sure, you're just kind of feeling things out, like people can sometimes treat us more like a friend than like a real lover in front of them, like a real human being, you know, with feelings, who's trying to build something. And I feel like you're gonna notice that this person wants to like win you over, or wants to like charm you. They want to make sure you feel like a priority. They honestly this month might be struggling with putting you on a pedestal. And of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, vice versa. Of course, take what, if you think I'm talking about you, sure, but maybe you guys are mirroring. Maybe you guys are sharing the same energy, who knows? But whatever's going on here, I do feel like it's divinely led. And it's something that, it's like the right time for you to experience this sort of love. I do feel like this person, because it's interesting that there's one person walking ahead and there's one person still behind. And anyone could say like, well, yeah, it's just people walking on a path. But if we go back to the imagery, like this is a date setting, it's almost like this person is letting you take the lead, not in the sense that they aren't going to go out of their way to plan things, but they kind of want you to take more of the spotlight on the date, if that makes sense. Like they want to know more about you. And I think they're just letting you have all of this glory right now. I don't know why they're putting you on such a pedestal right now. What have you been doing, pile 4? But yeah, I do get this sense that this person is kind of enamored by you, and it could be, you do need to be careful. This is why I always say to not rush into things and to take things slow with getting to know someone and evaluating what you want to do with them. Of course, continue to be kind and a beautiful person to them, of course, but don't bend your boundaries to try and like keep someone in your life. This person just feels like they want to learn from you right now. Oh yeah, what I was saying. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. Take your time with this person, because we could have a case where they're putting you on a pedestal and they're setting themselves up for failure because they're failing to realize that you are absolutely a human being too, and you are not perfect and you are going to make mistakes. So just make sure that they're not being unrealistic, that they're still seeing you and they're not projecting onto you. So for those in relationships, Spirit, for pile 4, what can they expect? My pile 4s in relationships this month. Let's get one more, please, Spirit. What can they expect? Okay. Aw. This is, there's one. So we have the Dreamer, we have Life on Earth, and we have the 7 of Embers, which is the 7 of Wands. So some of you guys in relationships, if you've been going through a rocky path with your partner where you're not seeing eye to eye, where you're feeling really like just out of touch, or maybe almost like you're against each other, almost like maybe you guys have just been really seeing each other's differences recently, and you've kind of been on the defense, you've not been wanting to be around each other. I feel like you're gonna have a moment this month where like love triumphs all. And you're literally, I've got to show you this card because it's 2 people just like clinging onto each other. You know? And this card is just making me realize that all we really have on this earth that like actually means something is the connections we form with each other and the love we share with each other. And I almost feel like you're realizing these things that you're arguing about, or these things that have come between you, don't matter in comparison to how strong your guys' love is. And I just feel like you're having almost a breakthrough moment where both of you are rising out of the ashes and making either decisions to change or to compromise, or you're just seeing each other in different lights. And it's kind of funny because like the 2, it kind of does look like you guys are intertwining with someone this month. And you're going to have someone to rely on, someone who supports you, someone who sees you for who you are. Let's see what the Dreamer is. The Dreamer is the Queen of Swords. Some of you are making this realization to like forgive from a dream. And I know that sounds really weird, but like sometimes my spirit guides or like higher selves of people I know here on earth will come to me in dreams and will almost like talk it out and work it out up there. And that doesn't mean that I think obviously that the person in 3D reality believes everything or wants even everything that happened in the dream, but it does give me this kind of clarity and this sense of like, okay, this person is probably going through a hard time. It helps me have compassion for this person. So I feel like you're making a realization, or you're having some sort of psychic experience where you're like, oh my gosh, like I've been really hard on this person, or vice versa. They're making that realization about you. And I think both of you are kind of having this spiritual come back to love moment where you're realizing what truly matters here, and it's the foundation that you guys have set together and the future that you guys have dreamt together that can become reality if you just drop the ego. I do feel like it's a dropping of the ego, sort of. sort of situation here on both ends. Okay, let's move on to career and finances this month. I'm just going to do one more shuffle and we'll see what comes out. Let's get one card for career and one card for finances, Spirit. One card for career for pile 4. What can they expect this month? Pile 4. Take that. We've got the 4 of Trees, which is the 4 of Pentacles. And what about finances, Spirit? Okay. We've got the Crow, which I think is the Fool or the Magician. Let me see. The Crow is the Magician. 4 of Trees, 4 of Pentacles. Some of you guys this month are realizing you're in a career, or actually, let me take that back, because I feel like some of you guys have been in a career that you know is unfulfilling. You know that you work your booty off. You know you give the best that you can every day, and yet you're not appreciated. There's no thank yous. And it's not even that you're looking for a pat on the back. It's just that maybe, like, you literally are the most valuable player, or like there are things that couldn't run without your position at work, and people aren't treating you with the respect that you deserve, and they aren't compensating you properly. You clearly in this career this month are seeing where the politics at work are affecting people and how they affect people and why they're affecting people's work, or why certain people are the way they are at work. Like, you're making some strong realizations about what happens when people in power have to step on others and crush others in order to maintain that power. And I think you might be having this realization this month of, do I genuinely love this enough to stay, or is this an industry that I want to maintain in? I think you're learning more about yourself and your morals, and you're recognizing where some industries or some careers or some facet of an industry really doesn't suit you, but I feel like you still might have that attachment to where you're at, or you're just not ready to leave yet, or you're just unsure of what to do yet. So you're feeling a little stuck this month, but I do think you're realizing or trying to make plans about what to do next, about a different career, because this ain't working for ya. With the Crow for your finances, I do feel like some of you guys are getting like a windfall or an inheritance, or something like you're getting a check, maybe taxes come in early, I don't know, but definitely a surprise coming in your finances, a good surprise, like an increase in your finances, or ways to easily increase your finances, or to save money better, or to like quadruple your finances are coming to you, and you're going to be making switches that are easy and sustainable, and that set you up for success this month, which is, that's awesome to hear. Okay, so pile 4. This is the fun part of the reading. If you have a specific question, think of a yes or no type of question, answer. That's what we're going to do right now. And I'm going to try and tell you yes or no to the question, and I'm going to try and tell you why. Of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But go ahead and have that question, say it out loud, maybe send it over to me. But yeah, keep thinking of it while I shuffle. Okay, Spirit Guides, what is the answer to pile 4's question? Okay, 3 cards came out, 1 fell in my lap. So we have soulmates. Oh, I can't pick it up. we have the Ace of Lotuses, which is the Ace of Cups. And then we have the Four of Lotuses, which is the Four of Cups. So we have essentially what I'm going to take as 2 yes cards. Soulmates is the Lovers, I believe. Let me triple check so I'm not spouting false narratives. Yeah, it's the Lovers. So we have the Lovers, the Ace of Cups, and the Four of Cups. I'm taking the Ace of Cups and the Lovers as 2 yeses and the Four of Cups as a maybe. So depending on what you asked, hopefully that gives you a little bit of clarity. Now I'm going to tell you why. I do feel like some of you guys are asking about a relationship or a friendship, but I do kind of feel like it might be talking about that that number 2 person or that person that you're coming together with this month, because both my singles and my lovers have someone coming in today or this month. Maybe you're meeting them today. Oh boy. But some of you guys are trying to decipher who it is that is this 2 person for you. I'm just going to call them the 2 person. And maybe you just like are wondering, have I met them yet? Are they going to come to me? Is this someone I know? I feel like Spirit isn't giving me a clear answer here yet about like who specifically it is. I do think if you ask specifically like, is my soulmate this person, I think that is a clear yes. So take that and leave that. Don't take what I'm saying. But those of you who are just trying to figure out who it is, or like maybe you're asking how you'll know who this person is, I think you're going to find out really soon, because in one of the earlier piles, the Four of Lotuses came up in a completely different section, and we went on a really long tangent about it, and I actually learned a lot about the Four of Cups while I was talking about it. And I almost feel like you're being tossed around by the waves right now. You know, you're having to go through the crusties, the dusties in love. You're trying to figure out what you like, what you don't like, but you don't realize you are so close to shore. You are so close to everything that you've ever wanted. Like, the waves are about to settle. Like, the shoreline is just out there on the distance. You can't see it yet because you're being tossed around in the waves, but you're so close. I do feel this yes is a yes because it's something that truly loves you, something that has true love for you, at least at this moment. This is someone or something that is capable of bringing you fulfillment. This is someone or something that, kind of like we were talking about with the singles, like perfect timing. It's like the stars are aligning. What's that? It's a Taylor Swift thing. It's in Mastermind. Oh my gosh, I can barely hear it. What is it? Hold on. We're pulling out the T Swift. Mastermind. This is my channel. If you get bored by this, I'm sorry, but this is relevant. Okay. Once upon a time, the planets and the fates and all the stars aligned. You and I ended up in the same room at the same time, and the touch of a hand lit the fuse of a chain reaction of counter moves. To assess the equation of you, checkmate, I couldn't lose. So, and I'm getting like a little bit of goosebumps while I'm reading that. Sorry, I stopped recording on my mic there for a second. But anyway, I just feel like Spirit is coming through saying like, it's your turn to experience this level of love. You've done the work. This person has done the work. This situation is aligned with you. Even if this isn't like a person, maybe this is talking about a workplace or a wish of yours that you're hoping or asking if it'll come true. And Spirit is definitely saying yes, because this is aligned with your soul. This is something that is almost fated to happen. Like you were meant to experience this. You might not see how close you are yet, but once these waves settle and you're finally pushed onto shore, you're going to realize, oh my God, all of this was so worth it because this is so great. So that's really awesome. Let's go ahead and wrap up with your closing advice. So we have gladiolus with strength. And I think, didn't we have strength come up? Yeah, we had the orb, strength. So yeah, I think this is continuing on this. The level of love that you are meant to experience in this world is so deep, so raw, and so true, and so strong. And I think you've always had this inkling of what love could be, but you've just never been shown it yet. And I think you're finally going to realize how strong love can be in this world, because it's your turn to realize and to go through that and to experience that. So, what I've been doing for some final guidance and closing messages is using my homemade spirit deck that I made a couple years ago. So I haven't used this in a while. I used this religiously when I first started my channel, but I've privated a lot of videos because I think I've grown a lot spiritually and just as a person, and I don't always align with some of the things like I've mentioned in past readings just as I've grown. So I'm bringing these back because I think they're valuable. Just want to mention you should always make your own tarot decks or oracle decks. Like, it can be such a beneficial tool, and I feel like it's so special to you. Anyway, enough blabbering. Oh my god, my candle has been spilling wax. I didn't even notice that. Okay, final closing guidance for pile 4 spirit. This is going to be a long predictions reading. I can tell you that. Okay. Let's just take all of these. So we have birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, you're definitely meeting someone of your soul family this month, or coming together with one. I choose to remember my soul's purpose. Yeah, that's going back, facing fears. With grace, I can transmute all negativity. Absolutely. And then I listen and pay attention to the messages in my dreams. Didn't we have a card about dreams being significant? Yeah. And then we have, I trust the universe and my guides to take me to my highest path. And then 1111, alignment with your manifestation is happening. You are on the right path. So congratulations, pile 4. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading. I hope you enjoyed. If this resonated, feel free to give me a like, feel free to comment, and of course I would love to have you join the Mellow Yellow Tarot family anytime. You can subscribe and never miss videos in the future, but I'm gonna leave that there. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, good evening, good night, etc. Bye, pile 4. See you later.